Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and welcome to File Folder Friday. I have 3 prototypes in front of me. I started with this one, and I thought, oh, that's a cool little thing that I made. And then I'm like, wait, something's not right here. So what I did was I actually put in the little gusset. I put it in backward, so we have this crease here. So I'm like, and then when I cut my, I used a 2.5 inch, I think it's 2.5 inch punch, and I cut it a little to one side, so I kept inching it over, and so by the time I did it, what I had to go down wouldn't cover it, so I put this extra, I had it like this, so I put that extra little thing on, and it's like, well, that works okay, but it's not really what I wanted to do. So then I made this one, which is more in line with what I wanted to do, except I wanted to make a tall one. But I wanted to get my act together and get my gusset right, because you can't go through life with your gusset turned backwards. You just can't. So I made this one earlier today. Yeah, I guess I did this earlier today. So it's just a little prototype. I put this jute on it, but I realized the jute's just way too much. But for now, it'll work. So then once I did this one and figured it out or remembered, I did another one more official. So I wanted to do like a little tall gusseted pocket from a file folder and put a little scrapbook paper on it. So this is just some scrap that I had where I'd taken out a whole sheet of 12 by 12 and only cut a portion off of it. So it's all this French writing with this kind of purple background, and it's written in a color very similar to the file folder. So it's just a gusseted pocket with a hole to tie it. I just used a hole reinforcer. I didn't use an eyelet. But this is what we're going to make. And now you can make these any size, pretty much. I even played around with making one sort of wallet, long and narrow as opposed to tall. But I didn't really like that as well. But we're going to make one somewhere in this range. It might even be a little taller. But that's what we're going to do today. So let me get my materials together and we'll get started. Okay. I'm using the file folder that it's very stiff. Let me pull this down this way a little bit so it's a little bit more in the camera. So we're starting off with a piece of card that is 9.5 inches long and 3.25 inches wide. Now you can make yours any height or width that you want. But what you'll need is your piece of card and then a strip that's 1 inch wide, and you'll need 2, whatever height you want your pocket to be, the front of it. Let me see. Let me show you what I mean. this part of your pocket from here to just above here, because you can't put it all the way into there. So I put mine 1/4 of an inch above. So from here to here, you want 2 pieces 1 inch wide for every what that length is on your pocket. So I just cut this strip, and I'll cut it down when I, because I'm just, this is a different size than I've made before. I think this one was 9 inches. Anyway, what I'm going to make, or what I'm going to cut, what I'm going to score, oh my goodness, I'm going to score at 4. And then I'm going to score at 8 1/4. And what that will do is give me my fold and give me just a little bit of room up here at the top. So let me move this scoreboard away. And I'm going to dock my corners on this little flap only, using the number 7. And then I'm going to bring my scoreboard back over here. I realize that it's much easier to use a scoreboard most of the time anyway to find the middles of my pieces than it is to use the ruler. So half of 3 is 1 1/2, half of 1/4 is an 1/8. So we want to go 1 mark past 1 1/2, and that's going to be our middle. And I'm just putting a little tiny little mark there so that I can line it up with my, this is a 1 1/2 inch punch. I'm not going to do the bigger one again. That was a little bit of a nightmare trying to get that to work right. So there's that. So now in folding it up, you'll be able to tell what goes where. So now we can just fold it up like this, and you don't have to burnish it because it's going to have that level of separation anyway, so there's really no point in burnishing it. So then what I do is I just come in with the ink and give it a little around the edges, all the way around on the outside. And then just a little bit on the crease, each little crease here. And then the inside of this top flap, and I do go down just a little ways on that inside, and just do that lines there and here. That way, if there's anything showing, it should, as far as the core, it should be covered. So now we'll let that sit for just a minute, and we're going to, I got the rest of that paper, and it was laid out like a newspaper. So I think I want to put this bottom portion on the front. So I need to figure out where I need to cut it to give me what I want here. And so I think cutting it right under this second line here will give me what I want. It seems a little crooked, but maybe it's not. Okay. And then yeah, I actually could have come down another little bit. So let me just take a little tiny sliver, another little sliver off here. Well, that might have been too much, but that's okay. We will make it work anyway. Now I'm going to do the same thing again here. And just find the middle. And it's over 3. It's not going to give me the exact, but I'm going to put me a little mark. It's not in a groove. Well, it is now. Just a little mark. And I'm going to come in and just do just a little bitty one right there. Now, glue stick. And while I'm doing this, I want to thank everyone for so far that's participating in the giveaway. The end of the month, or the 1st of March rather, falls on a Friday, so I will be doing the drawing over the weekend, and I will post it. Technically it would be Sunday night, but we'll call it Monday morning. I usually post around midnight or a little after midnight. When YouTube and my editing program cooperates, that is. So yeah, be sure and get your name in the hat by making a comment on the community page for the giveaway post, so that I know one thing I forgot to do was ink this, but I'm not going to try to do it now. That would not go well, I don't think, with all the glue on the back. And this is very thin paper. I did ink the other one though, but I don't know why I didn't remember to ink this one. Okay, so there's that. And these two are much bigger in print than that. So I guess I will make this one work. Okay, except that this needs to go this way. I learned my lesson the hard way. My hands are very dry. It's just popping right out. Something similar I was doing not long ago, and I turned the paper the wrong way. Okay, so on this one, we're going to do right above the less, L-E-S. To get our line, and that should fit on that little part. Hopefully I didn't cut it too short. It'll be alright. And so yeah, and also welcome to all my new subscribers. I've got a few since the last video. Very appreciative of that. Also very much appreciative of all the people who's been following me for a while. Some of you all the way back from when I first started kind of really getting into doing videos back in August. I've learned a lot about what to do and how to do it and what not to do and that sort of thing, and so it's a constant learning process. But anyway, thanks to everyone who is supportive regardless of how you do it or how long you've been here. It's very much appreciated. Okay. Alright, now let's do this one, and for this I will need to, because this is so thin, I need some support underneath it. Otherwise it just folds up and doesn't do anything. Okay. Now, glue, glue, and glue. And so yeah, next week I'll be starting my new schedule. Also, next Friday's project will be the beginning of the new schedule, what I called my summertime schedule. I'll be putting videos out on Tuesdays and Fridays. My very first project is going to be making a mini journal, and when I say mini, I mean I'm going to be altering a little bitty book. I showed it in a video. I'll link the video at the end of this one so that you can see it, but that will be the first project that I do. Okay, now I'm going to lay that to the side, let it dry, and was that my 1 inch? No, this is my 1 inch. Okay. So this is 4 inches, so I want to cut me 2 strips at 3 3/4. I think it's actually going to end up being the same size as this one. Those measurements sound familiar. Yep. Well, no. Yep, it's the same. Okay, so let me put this right here. So 3 3/4, and I need 2 of them. Okay. Now, what you want to do next is my file folder has a smooth side and a little bit of a textured side, and so I'm wanting to make sure I have all my sides the same way around. So on your strips, you want to lay it in up and down this way, and I always score mine in the middle first. It's just it seems to be easier for me, but anyway, you want to score at 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. And what this does, this gives you your gusset. There's one. And it is small, it's hard to hold. Okay. Alright. Now, oops, I just dropped my little doohickey thing. Okay, so the way I do it is with the grooves that I've just made facing up toward me, I just lay it down the opposite way and fold the middle in, and then fold these back on itself like this. So basically you want to end up with either a W or an M, whichever way you want to look at it. So this is what you want to end up with. So it can be an M or a W, whichever. But the important thing is when you go to put it in your in here, the either the bottom of your W or the top of your M, that's what goes to the outside. These two go to the outside, the one in the middle goes to the inside. So I'm going to, and this helps me also remember which way to put them, is just to put some ink on them. So there's that. And also, because the tops can be seen, and even the bottoms can to some extent, I always put just a little bit of ink on those as well. So we're going to do it, fold it over, fold it back on itself, then turn it over and then fold that back on itself. And just give it a good squeeze to take the shape. Give it a little ink, like so. Alrighty. Now, this part is a little tedious, and the first couple of times I did it, it kind of played havoc with my mind just slightly, but don't give up. It's once you do it once and get your system down, it is easy to do. So the first thing you want to do is just pick one. Don't matter really which one. Put glue on this on one of your little edges. It don't matter which one. And then I like to turn mine sideways. Some people do it up and down, but for me it works better sideways. You want to start out with putting your the top of it right in that corner so that it lines up with the edge there and the edge here, and do the same here, and just lightly press it enough for it to stick. You just want it to kind of stay in place, and then go do the same thing with your other one. And the one thing that I also used that I hope I left laying out here, but I don't know that I did, was some little mini bulldog clips that barely has some grip. You'll need something like that to just help hold it together. So here I'm going to line it up there. And if I use PVA almost for everything, and so if you're using a glue that has some wiggle to it, then you might want to just hold it in place for a second until it kind of grips a little bit. Okay. Now, once it has gripped and you've got everything lined up, just come back and put glue on the other flap here. On both sides, you need to do both of them at the same time. Okay. Now I'm going to look. I guess I did put my bulldog clips up, so before I do that, I'm going to get me a couple ready. That's too hard. Otherwise, they can slip out. So I'll start with 4. On the ones a little bit longer, I've used 6, but I'll start with 4. Okay, so now what you want to do is just put it up, make sure both of your little flaps are to the inside, because they might want to open a little bit, but just put them to the inside, and they will automatically, for the most part, go into place where they're supposed to go. But what you can do, just line it up to make sure each side is the same, and just put your little clip there right on the edge there and here. Now I'm going to flip it over, do the other side the same here, there. If I can keep a hold of it. Okay, now I'm going to find me a couple more that are, if you use them that are too strong, they'll mark your paper. And you don't need it squeezed together that much. You just need enough to hold it until the glue sets. So while that's setting, I'm going to take this little piece of scrap and make me a hole reinforcement. Out of it. Boy, I barely got it. Now, I have these giant tweezer things over here that works pretty good for holding it. I just push it down as tight as it'll go without it ripping or anything, and it holds it better than I could if it was my fingers. Okay. And let that sit there. Since I've got those clips on, I'm not going to try to put this on the scoreboard. I'm going to find the middle here, which was 1.5 plus an eighth, and I'm going to put it about right there. Alright, so now just a touch of glue. Come on now. I got dried glue on my fingers. Okay, so there is that. Okay, now I'm going to take these off. I'm going to take this over to my iron. You know, I iron everything, and I'm just going to get everything, make sure everything's nice and dry before I tie it up, so I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so everything's nice and dry and stuck. So I did this one with jute, but I'm going to do this one with just some cotton string, I think, and see which one I like best. But I'm going to do them in the same way. Now, or at least I think I am. And try not to get it all twisted up. Okay. I probably should have cut it a little longer. So we're going to do this right here. There we go. And then let's do this one again. Well, I didn't cut that one all that long either, did I? So those, there are those two. And then the non-prototype. And then the little bitty. It's like roughly half the size and a little wider. So yeah, you can make these all sizes, and all four of these will go into the drawing that's coming up next week. So so that's been the File Folder Friday project. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you with another project very soon.